Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren, and I am a presidential diamond with It Works Global, and I absolutely love this journey that I'm on. And one of the best parts is meeting people who are just born with passion, born for more, born to do more, and then seeing them come alongside and just find their potential and start to absolutely flourish. And so tonight I have the honor and privilege of interviewing one of my dear new friends, Sara Reed, and she is incredible. She joined. She's going to tell you her story of why she joined, and we're also going to get to hear more about what she has done with this business and her family and everything that's come along with it. So, Sara, would you just introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, how long you've been with the company, and a little bit about your family.
Okay, so I'm from Yuba City, which is a really teeny tiny town in Northern California. I have been doing It Works for a little over a year, I think a year and maybe 3 months now. I'm a wife, and actually this month we're going to celebrate our 6-year wedding anniversary. Yay! And then I'm a mommy to an almost 2-year-old. In about 15 days he'll be 2, and I love it. It's amazing. They are the light of my life, no joke.
I love that. And you're a fun mommy, a good mommy, an active mommy, and one that I just love getting to watch and follow. Can you tell us what led you to join It Works? How did you get started?
Oh, okay. So what led me to It Works was a lot of prayer, but we as a family had hit a really low point. So Jared and I had been married, and we had our first baby, and it was great. Like, we were living in like new parent bliss. And then you're like, oh, diapers and formula cost a lot of money. And we kept making it and just barely making it, and then just barely making it. And then there were months that like there was no barely making it. There just wasn't anything left. And we had to stop and think like, okay, financially, what are we doing? And we cut back. I mean, cut back so far. It was like, I wasn't buying body wash because it was like a luxury item, or I only had like $10 or $15 worth of gas at the time, and it was like literally $15, and I could go on a trip to the grocery store. I could go like a few other places if needed, doctor's appointments for the baby, but that was really it. And at that time, by the way, gas was like $3.50 a gallon. So I was literally going to the store and home. That was it. And I was stuck. And then not only was I stuck, but Jared would come home, and he was at a point in his job where everything was really, really, really stressful. And he was shouldering that burden all by himself. So we have no money. My husband's doing it on his own. And here comes winter, and we're in like the middle or the end of January, and our power gets turned off. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So I look outside. I'm like, oh, everybody else's power is still on but ours, which means that we just weren't able to make it. And so I sat in the living room with Jackson, and I'm like rocking him back and forth. I'm like, Mommy loves you. I love you so much. You're so beautiful. You're so handsome. I love you. And I just start crying because I'm inside. I'm feeling like such a failure, like epic mommy fail. And so we went to that night. We had honey power, but we got it turned back on. But that honestly wasn't the lowest point. So that wasn't the moment where I was like, oh, I need to do something. It was the moment where I just like recoiled and became sad. And all I was doing was I was just trying to gain some kind of ground. So I would lay in bed at night and I would pray and I would cry. My husband was asleep. Jackson was asleep. And I would just cry myself to sleep because I wasn't giving anything to my family that was substantial enough to keep us afloat. And when I say I wasn't giving anything, I mean, like, I was literally giving all of myself, but I had nothing left. And I would go in Jackson's room at night and I would just look at him. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you're so amazing. We're so not ever going to get to do anything. And my husband and I had no date night. Our relationship was like, hey, do you want to Netflix and then go to bed? And then we like lost Netflix. Like, we didn't have anything. It was like it wasn't a great period. It was really low point. And then I had this friend for a long time, Melissa. She had been messaging me for like a year. And I was like, no, you're a crazy wreck girl. I don't want any of that. I have no idea what it is, but I know I don't want it because you're like trying to sell it to me. And pretty soon she like messaged me and then she's like, oh, this is how bad I did not want to do this in the beginning. Melissa asked me, hey, can I take you for a coffee? And I was like, I don't drink coffee. Which is a lie. If you know me, I drink coffee all day, every day. So Melissa messaged me out of the blue, and I was like, actually, I am interested because, yeah. So can you just come over and like explain it to me? So Melissa came over, and I honestly heard zero of what she said. I could not tell you anything because I didn't care what a wrap was. I didn't care what it did. I didn't care how it worked. I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was that we were at the point where we had 5 cents in our bank account, reoccurring, and there was just nothing left. I couldn't buy diapers. I couldn't buy formula. I was just literally limping to the finish line because we had nothing. And so she comes over and she's like, okay, here's what a wrap does. You get 4 in your distributor kit and it's $99 to sign up. And I was like, okay, that's a lot of money. I don't have $99 at all. And I don't see $99 coming down the pipeline anytime soon. So she said, well, I mean, you could pre-sell them. And I was like, do explain. So she explained, you just sell them, and then when they get here, then you deliver them. And so I did. And when I got my hands on that, it was like I took off like a rocket ship and never looked back. So my goal, my first paycheck was to make $50, which is half of the price of the distributor kit, by the way. So I wanted to make $50 because that would have bought the case of diapers for our family. It was like $46 for a case of diapers at Sam's Club at the time, by the way. And so I wanted to make $50, and my first check was $64. And I was floored because I never fathomed making even $50. Right. And then I just knew that I could do this. And I just did it because I had nothing else. There was no other option. So I just did it. So that's how I started. That's how I started. Stay-at-home mommy to, to this. Yeah.
Wow. I love your story. I love it. I think there's a lot of people that can relate. And I think that, part of my story is I was the same way, crying myself to sleep at night because for me, I knew there was more. And I felt like I was missing what I was made to do. And I know that just feeling. And I think that there's a lot of moms, especially women, who feel like they're without purpose and they're kind of just floating through life like, what's next? And, your story is always one that inspires me so much. You started for $50, and you have totally done that and so much more. And so Sara is currently a diamond leader with It Works, and there are 8 promotions with the company total. And a diamond is the 4th promotion out of the 8. And a diamond is where you're really helping people make money, is what it comes down to. You made, your $60 and you turn around and taught other people to do that. And we have a system in place that leaves no guesswork to success. But a diamond is where you found 3 people, literally, that are like, I am willing to do what it takes. I will follow your lead, and I need to be making around $500 a month. And so Sara has a great team with people making significant money, and the average diamond makes just under $2,000 a month. And that is a little bit more, just a little, than $50. That's a lot. That's a lot of cases of diapers. That's more than you ever would have thought. And so, I know for you, Sara, diamond wasn't necessarily your immediate goal. Your immediate goal was what was right in front of your face. But why would you say it's a tangible goal and a doable goal? Why should diamond be a goal for anybody watching this? If maybe they're already a distributor and they're like, I don't know if I can do this. Or if it's somebody that's watching this, it's like, who is this Sara girl and could I do what she does? Like, why would you say at least focus on diamond?
Oh man. You're right. When I picked up that income chart and I looked at that party pad that Melissa brought over, I could not see past that first distributor portion. I was like, this is too much for me. I can't see past that. And then once I started, it was like, oh, I can do this. And then I started to understand this more. And then I started to make friends. And then I started to make old friends. And people kept coming to me and they kept asking to me, hey, what's this thing you're doing? What's this thing you're doing? And all of a sudden, now I'm got all these people in my life that I never had before. Yeah. So why should you get to diamond? Because for me, it's like this whole shift. Diamond is not just a paycheck personally. Diamond is a shift in your person. I think as you say, like, this is a self-development program with paycheck. I mean, a really good one. But going diamond is not just for you. Going diamond is for those other 3 people that you have working. Going diamond is about changing other people's lives. It's about changing your life. Going diamond for me meant that I could start giving my family experiences. Going diamond for me meant that my husband and I could have a date again. Going diamond means freedom. Like, it's the simplest form, because like when you have 0 and then you make a little, you're going to find a way to spend that, usually on bills. But when you have a little bit extra, it's like, in a sense, freedom. Then you have the freedom to choose, you know what, today I'm going to, purchase this inflatable pool from Sam's Club, because I ran into the pallet and I was like, this is going to be amazing. And that spontaneous purchase, even though it was like $40, that was freedom. And my family uses that pool every single day. And without this, that could have never happened. Without this, we would be lacking in so many of the family experiences that we have. That's why you should go diamond, for freedom, for choices, I think.
Do you feel like anybody could do it, or do you feel like just certain skill sets or certain people can do it?
I feel like anybody can go diamond. I feel like if you can get 2 friends to sign up, then you can get 3 friends. Then you can get 5 friends. Then those people start like getting into this, and then it becomes its own life. It becomes a living, breathing thing. It's not, you're just not doing it by yourself. And it's a family. It becomes something that you enjoy. And this has changed my life. Like, I love this. You sit down and you end up building relationships with people, and not intended all the time. Like, there are people that I'm in this business with that I would have never, ever, ever known outside of this, and that some of them are my closest friends. Yeah, I think anybody can do this. I think that if you set your mind to do it, I think if you look hard at that, I think that it's definitely an every person thing.
I love that, and I agree. I've seen too many people types find crazy success.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody can do it. It doesn't matter what your personality type is.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a difference between needing it and wanting it. You know, you needed it, but you also wanted it. You wanted to be able to help. And I feel like when people want that change, they want to be in a place where there's friends or freedom, that they're going to do it. And
right.
So, I always tell people, I'm like, find that place in your heart where you can want it. No, that's so good. Okay, Sara, in what?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that wanting it didn't come until like later. The wanting it didn't come until, let's see, I signed up in April, and then I went all the way, like past Thanksgiving into Christmas. So I signed up in April, and it's now like December. And I was just doing it on my own. I really hadn't built a team. It wasn't something that was on my mind. I was just like, I can do this all by myself. I can't do this. And it didn't even register until around Christmas time. And I had added like 1 person that month. And then I decided, I don't know what happened after Christmas, but like, it was like, I decided, you know what? I'm not just going to sit here anymore. Like, I have this at my fingertips. I obviously can accomplish something with it. I'm going to just do it. And like, it was in that moment that like when it became a part of who I was, and like, it was the ease of conversation that it came out. It flowed through me. Like, I just decided that this is a part of who I am. It's obviously doing a great thing for my family, so I am not ashamed of this at all. It's actually kind of awesome. And so when I said I want it, then it was like a game changer. When it became ingrained in who I was, it became a game changer for me.
I love that. And, you know, anybody watching this is going to be like, wow, that chick has passion. Like, no doubt you have passion. But what would you say is one area that you feel like a pro in this business? Or do you feel like a pro? But what's one area that for you, you're like, okay.
A pro. I don't know if I feel like a pro, because I always feel like I'm learning something new. Like, it month to month, week to week, like I'm always learning something new. I am a pro, I guess, at loving people. I'm super good at that. I'm really good at just being able to like extend my heart to them and say like, okay, how can I help you? What can I do for you? But that's a part of who I am. And I like that. I'm really good at, I don't know, like understanding other people and getting on the same level, because part of this is about finding out what they need and they want so that you can help them get to where they need to be or they want to be. So I have to be a good listener, I guess.
Yeah. So I love that. I feel like we could have scripted that. Like, if we had scripted it, I would have hoped that that's what we had written. I think that that's the thing. I feel like people are like, oh, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a network marketing professional. I'm not,
Right.
neither are you, and neither am I. But I think just by being you and finding you and flourishing in who you are is one of the best things that anybody can do. And you just totally confirmed that for me. So I love that. Okay, as we start wrapping up, I have 2 more questions for you. One is a little bit more guided, and then one's kind of like your closing free for all. But for this one, I would say, what's the biggest tip you'd give to somebody wanting to reach Diamond or wanting to maybe join this business, but they're terrified? Like that person that's like, is this for me or is this not for me? Could I, couldn't I? What would be a biggest tip that you would say?
I would say, yes, you can. Like without a doubt. And I would say that yes, you can, because in my personal experience, it took me an entire year to join this business. I even told someone that I didn't drink coffee. Like, so yes, you can. And in that year that I was deciding on what to do, I'm crying myself to sleep at night. If I had just gotten off the fence earlier, it would have changed my family's life earlier, you know? That's the only thing that I regret about this, is that I didn't do it sooner. Mm-hmm. I think that, yeah, you can do this. And my tip is stop worrying about what all those other people think, because I know that those people were not coming home and being with my family and watching my husband go through what he was going through. And I know that those people were not coming into my house and saying like, oh, here's $100 for your bill. Like, that's not the case. And I often find, like, even if I approach people about this business and they're iffy, or I think that I will be judged, people are actually a little bit more good-natured than not. I've run into a few, but I mean, everybody has stuff, right? So like, you can, post about your dog too much, or talk about Thomas and Mickey too much, or you can buy the wrong clothes at the wrong store, or the wrong makeup, or put it on wrong, or not do your hair right, or people are gonna make fun of you regardless of what you do. So it's not about this business. That's just your fear of other people and their opinion. And so that's what's holding you back, is somebody else's judgment of you. Somebody else's, they're creating fear in you, so you're letting that control you. So my tip is, don't let it. Just decide and like start owning what you want and who you are, and just do it.
Boom. So
sorry. Sorry.
And then here's the last thing I want you to do. Can you give us any talk directly to you a year ago?
Oh, I'm not even the same person I was a year ago. If I was talking to me a year ago, I would say, what are you doing? Like, why are you still sitting there? Like, you look at this beautiful baby every single day and you just bawl your eyes out. Like, what are you doing? Obviously, sitting there is not helping. You're doing nothing is not helping. So change your course of action. And the person that I was a year ago was not confident, was not convicted, was not self-motivated, was not as inspired, did not have enough passion. I had a family, and I was a wife and a mommy, and I was just doing the best I could. So I had nothing else. I had no other identity. And I would say once I let that go and I truly dug into who I was, I became like a phoenix, I guess is how I would say that. Like I became confident. I became passionate. I became friendlier, which I know, you might say is not possible, but it's true. I became a better wife and a better mom. And I started owning this person that I was becoming. And I started feeding it. I started filling it up. I started, enjoying this feeling of freedom that I had to just be who I was. Because, okay, listen, my misshapen unicorn and fairies and rainbows puzzle piece doesn't usually fit everywhere. So this was a great place for me personally to somebody told me one time, sprinkle my fairy dust. So this is a great place. But once I started to own that and then be confident in this person, I found myself challenged to then dig deeper and then go out and find other people and say, come on, we can do this together. Then I started linking arms with other people and just, I don't know. I don't know how to say it other than I found who I was in a very big way. And without this, I don't know that could have happened. And I just think that if you could step outside of you for a second, just kind of hover above yourself, just kind of give yourself a little tap, hey, go in this direction. What do you have to lose? What do you really have to lose? Mm-hmm. Really, truly, nothing. Nothing. Sorry, I can get really long-winded.
Sara, thank you so much for sharing just even a glimpse of your story. And it's been so fun watching your journey. I know that you and your team are going places. You are going places and you're taking people with you. So to those who are watching this that know Sara, hop on board. Why not? She's going to the top. She's taking people with her. Why not let it be you? And I feel like if you're still watching this, meant to be, let's go. Don't wait that year. Don't wait 2 years because this is so real and it's not going away. So Sara, thank you for sharing your story. Again, I just love you and I can't wait to watch your whole journey unfold. So good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.